I tell y'all what's on my mind? Can I get a couple of things off my chest?
What's up? It's your brother, your cousin, your uncle, your nephew, your friend, but I can't be your son as your kinfolk, William Jewell. Giving you my detail as I articulate. This is articulating. Rap. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? If you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below and turn all the notifications on so you can get all the new content when I post it. I just came here to articulate and give you a detailed perspective from close up and far away, telescopic and microscopic viewpoint of hip hop, right? And a lot's been going on lately. You know, there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to digest when it comes to hip hop from the musical standpoint, from the new releases, old and new as far as eras, and just the landscape of the battle arena again. We still kind of gotta dive back into that, and just some new theories, some new perspectives, just coming your way, trying to be dialed in. You know, usually I write my notes. I feel like when I write my notes, it's a lot better when it comes to presenting because all of my thoughts are already out. So when it's time for me to actually present to you my thoughts, they're more in order. So we're kind of going to be going in different directions. So y'all, y'all bear with me. But we got to talk about the Toronto shows, the GNX, Kendrick Lamar and SZA tour, the GNX tour Toronto shows, because it's making a lot of noise. It's stirring up a lot into the pot. It's giving us a little bit more controversy. And then on the other hand, we got to talk about Drake attempting to do a live stream with Cenat for the Somebody Loves You video. Right, we got to talk about how Drake was trying to distract the people, intercept the people, but he was not primetime Deion Sanders, right? He was trying to get people distracted from what was actually going on in his hometown, and he couldn't because they canceled the live stream, right? And I think they canceled the live stream because there was a lot of talk about him doing the live stream for a distraction. He did the live stream before with people outside the culture. I don't even remember their name. He did the live stream before to distract the people, and it actually did not work for him. It actually was not seen in a favorable light. So, to be honest, the fact that he, you know, tried it but then realized he shouldn't do it, that still is bad. But I don't think it would have been as bad as if he would have done the live stream. So I think that was smart of Drake. I think that was smart of Drake, but you can't try to throw stones and hide your hand. You can't try to show your hand and then cover it up and say people aren't playing fair. And the whole Cenat Wale thing, I forgot to talk about that when it comes to my BET Awards perspective. We forgot to talk about that, but I mean, Cenat is young, right? I think we give him a lot of leadway because of his youth, right? Cenat is young. When Lotus Flower Bomb came out, he said on his live stream he was 9 years old. That was in 2011. That was 14 years ago. That was when 106 in Park was still going on. I remember. Right? But I feel like he made that demonstration. He made that example. And I think that made him look cornier and Wale look even worse. But it also kind of gave credence to, Wale's emotions and feelings surrounding that whole thing. And then we talk about the visitors in hip hop. We talk about these young streamers in hip hop Like they don't know hip hop. They don't even know Wale. Like Wale, Big Crit, Big Sean. Like those were the tier MCs right underneath Kendrick, Cole, and Drake. Those were the guys that we could look to and look forward to making that quality music. It wouldn't be on that mainstream level as a Kendrick, Cole, and Drake, but it would still be as proficient and, pure. But for him to, I mean, I could see if you don't know Dr. Dre. I could see if you don't know about Beanie Siegel, but we're talking about, you was talking to Snoop Dogg. You was talking to an old pioneer in the game. But you wasn't young when Gin and Juice was coming out. When Drop It Like It's Hot came out. Like, how old were you when Snoop was really making good music? Like, and now you're in a conversation with Snoop, but you're saying you don't know Wale. You're saying you were too young to know Wale, but you know Drake. You know Cole. You know Kendrick. You know Big Sean, but you're too young to know Wale? No. I don't think he gets a pass for this. I don't think he gets a pass for this. And I don't think that he should be the one representing the culture and being a voice for the music side of the culture, right? And I'm just speaking on musical things in general, right? I feel like entertainment wise, content creating wise, just doing what he does best, I think that's good for his platform. I think that's ideal for him. But when it comes to hip hop and judging music, I think that's a lane that he could show love to, he could show appreciation to some artists, but to think that he's the voice that speaks for, our music, I think that would not be responsible for us as a culture, and I don't think that would be responsible, that is responsible for him to try to become. So, I mean, that's my feeling on that. I didn't like that. And UMG is offering another submission to dismiss, right? A motion to dismiss. They're offering another motion to dismiss this trial, right? There are more things that are bubbling up and reaching towards the top of the surface. And I see why Drake wants to try to stay in front of it. But sometimes being in front of it, as history would tell you, he tried to get in front of the battle. He tried to get in front of the sabotaging of his name. He tried to get in front of all that, and it didn't work. But the one thing that worked for him was some sexy songs for you. One thing that worked for him was putting out a body of work and putting some music in there that one or two hit songs could come from it. And Nokia was one of those songs, although I haven't heard about or heard Nokia in a while when I've been outside. But Nokia was one of those songs, the video, the album was one of those projects that kind of got Drake actually back in good graces. Some of the hip hop purists didn't appreciate it, but the ladies loved it. The R&B guys, the ones who are red pill swallowers, they liked it. So that was definitely something for the fan base to enjoy, and it got Drake back in good graces with the culture overall. So we need to focus on Iceman. We don't need to focus on doing streams with Cenat. We don't need to focus on trying to distract people from the UNG motion to dismiss, because we know that your case is weak as hell. Right? We need to go into the booth and create Iceman. We need to hear that bomb that Maul was talking about. And me personally, I know it's not a bomb that's sending direct messages. It might be some subs in there, just like Give Me a Hug was, but there's no bomb. Give Me a Hug wasn't a bomb. Give Me a Hug was popular, then it went back down. Give Me a Hug was only popular because he was still throwing shots. But Nokia, you see how that one rose up to the charts. He didn't have no real subs in it. He threw the subs through the music video, but musically there were no subs in the lyrics. There was no remnants or uh there was no more battling language in that song. So I do believe that the best thing for Drake to do is just focus on music. Stop with the social media charades, although I know he won't because that's his bag, and you know, I'm not mad at him for continuing to do that. But I just think that if as long as he focuses on the music, he'll be okay. As long as he focuses on the music, he gonna be okay. And I believe he made a good decision from pulling out of the Cenat stream. I don't think he should do the stream, but I think if he does do the stream, I don't think it should be when he was going to do it to distract the people from Kendrick Lamar. And when we go back to Kendrick Lamar, like, it's a lot to say about Kenny. It's a lot to say about Kendrick Lamar. It's a lot to say about Toronto, the Six, treating Kendrick Lamar as if he were a six god in the flesh, a demigod, something like Hercules, right? Something created from the sperm of Zeus. Like Kendrick Lamar, the way the crowd was chanting for him to do Not Like Us one more time. One more time. One more time. One more time. He allowed us to come together one more time. They wanted him to do Not Like Us one more time in Drake's home state. And now he's on social media sending screenshots of DMs to a politician in Toronto calling him a goof. No, Drake, you're the goofy. And to be honest, Drake doesn't have a strong hold over Toronto the way he thought he did. Do I believe that Drake could do the same thing in Cali? I do believe Drake could do the same thing in Cali, in LA. But I think the energy and the aura and the presence around him doing that would be totally different than, Kendrick Lamar doing what he did in Toronto. And not just one night packed out stadium, 2 nights packed out stadium, encores, wanting him to do the Not Like Us. And to be honest, I'm glad that it's behind us. I'm glad that he's finished it. I'm glad that nobody got hurt or harmed while doing it. I'm glad he was able to get on a plane and go back home to New York. I'm glad that he had multiple police accompanying him to perform and to leave. I'm glad. I'm glad. Trouble don't last always. I'm so glad. All right, I'm so glad that Kendrick Lamar has been protected in the arms of the Lord. Jesus built a fence around him every day, and I believe a fort made with brick walls was built around him, ready for war, ready for battle. Even Anthony Salah and Dave Free were going to war with him with DJ Academics when DJ Academics was in Detroit. Charged him up, pressed him. Are you getting paid to do this? Is this content or are you getting paid? Like what's your goal? What's your purpose? Why are you here? After all that stuff that you talked online, after all the dirt, after all the mud that you were slinging, after all the vitriol, after all the fingers that you were pointing, talking about K-Bots, after all the negative things you were saying about Kendrick Lamar on the behalf of Drake, and then you show up into his concert and act like it's nothing. You act like you were just doing your job. You act like you are just doing your job. And to be honest, I felt like eventually he wanted to get pressed. And if he didn't want to get pressed, he wanted to be able to leave that show and act like nothing happened and nobody was gonna do anything to him. And when he left the show and something happened, he at least had a scoop. He at least had something to talk about. So he was in a win-win situation if he showed up to the show, right? If something happened to him, you know he was going to tell. You know he was going to snitch because he's not really a part of that culture like that. And just the culture, the street culture is if you put yourself in harm's way on purpose because you ran your mouth, you got to accept what comes with it. And he can't accept the choices that he make. You know, he doesn't have that type of integrity. He doesn't have that type of character. He's doing it all for the clout. He's doing it all for the clicks. He's doing it all for the attention. And he's trying to distract not only Kendrick Lamar fans, but Drake fans as well. He's trying to be on the fence and trying to be as objective or come off as objective as he can. But we already know that he made a grave mistake when choosing sides in the battle. And he chose Drake because Drake was his favorite rapper. But Drake can't be your favorite rapper when Kendrick Lamar is one of your top streamed artists. Right? Drake can't be your favorite rapper when you're going to a Kendrick Lamar concert and you know that people don't like you. Right? Drake can't be your favorite rapper if you're telling him to pop out in Toronto and show. Right? Drake can't be your favorite rapper if you want to put him in harm's way. So it is what it is. It is what it is. And just to talk about the new music coming out, I really enjoyed the Underdog by Roddy Ricch. I really enjoyed Gunna's new single. I can't think of it right now. I don't have my phone on me. I enjoyed Mozzie and Babyface Ray. And Tumaza by Drake and Smiley. I mean, he hasn't stopped with the accents, right? He hasn't stopped with that. And I believe that's Toronto style, so I'm not mad at it. But definitely Drake doesn't have that touch on his features as he once had before. Like, he just don't got it no more. And it's very prevalent. So I don't think that needs to be discussed. I did like the Nas and Slick Rick document, but I went to the album Victory by Slick Rick. And I enjoyed it. It was pretty, cool. The production was definitely nostalgic, retro style, boom bap. And he talked his talk, about how influential he was with the eye patch, with just fashion. He talked his talk. He told his stories. And he just put out a quality project that was aged well, that didn't sound like he was experimenting too much, but just sounded like he was back in his pocket, back like he never left. And I'm sure Mass Appeal and Nas are going to do this more and more with the older acts that they got lined up. And I think, judging by what they did with this one, it kind of reminded me of LL, right? It kind of reminded me of how LL's production sounded, because he did use Q-Tip, and I heard Q-Tip was a producer on a couple of songs or on a song on this album. And that makes sense. It aligns perfectly with the direction that they're going. They're not trying to cater to the youth. They're catering to the older fan base of hip hop and just the people that want to hear some of their favorite rappers nostalgically, but in a recent mindset. And I think what Slick Rick did on Victory was a great example of that, and was a great example for other legacy acts or artists that have been doing music, in the past, that kind of have been forgetting what they need to do going forward. So salute to Nas, salute to Mass Appeal. I mean, just salute to Slick Rick and all those new tracks, all those new joints coming out. Shout out to y'all. But it's your brother, your cousin, your uncle, your nephew, your friend, but I can't be your son, that's your kinfolk. William Jewell. Giving you my detail as I articulate. This is articulating rap, rap, rap.